Good morning, I'm J.R. Marshall.
I'm Edvaldo Ferreira.
I'm Neviat Mamo.
And we are
Team Good Enough.
We're going to talk about the impact that sports has in society. We're going to mention the positive impact, the negative impact, and we're going to divide it into economic impact, individual impact, and cultural impact.
One example of cultural influence in sports is in the NFL. One example was Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick took a knee for what he believed in. He believed in that police brutality in the U.S. was getting out of hand. So at first, people thought he immediately started taking a knee. That's not true. At first, what he did was he started sitting on a bench towards just any water coolers or anything. People started to notice this more and more and started to see him as an unpatriotic character. Even though people were seeing him as an unpatriotic character, he was still standing up for the right reasons. Examples of this were the Rodney King incident in 1990, Michael Brown, and Eric Garner. Eric Garner was the main reason why Kaepernick took a stand. Garner was brutally choked by NYPD police officers, and he was later killed. Other athletes, not only in the NFL but the NBA as well, wore shirts over their warm-ups saying that "I can't breathe" in light of the incident regarding Eric Garner. Players like LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and other players in the NBA were protesting about this in a silent way, which was the same way as Colin Kaepernick was doing, but still people were seeing him as an unpatriotic character. Even though this act, some people might see as unpatriotic, Kaepernick still stood up for the right reasons and the right ways. After the break in the internet this summer, LeBron James went from the Cleveland Cavaliers all the way over to Los Angeles Lakers. Some people really focused on this and exploited it on the internet. But what most people didn't know was that LeBron James was doing something bigger, something more important outside of the game of basketball. He created his own school and called it his Promise School. His Promise School welcomed in a bunch of new students from the Akron area in Ohio. He welcomed in students that were having trouble trying to find a school to go to. He ended up giving kids at the school free bikes, free meals, and if they graduated within the 4 years, he would grant them a free college tuition, but only towards the University of Akron. On August 25, 2017, the city of Houston was struck by Hurricane Harvey, one of the most devastating hurricanes other than Hurricane Katrina. Knowing this, J.J. Watt, a current football player for the Houston Texans, saw this and took matters into his own hands. He did this by going around the community and wanted to help. At first, he wanted to raise around $200,000. He ended up fundraising over $41.6 million for the city of Houston. He wanted to do this just so he could make sure everyone else who were affected by the floods, to make sure they were okay, make sure they got everything they needed. A quote from J.J. Watt stated that, as I reflect on the events of Hurricane Harvey 1 year ago, the moments of destruction and devastation remain, but they are accommodated by memories of hope, selflessness, and the beauty of the human spirit, Watt said in the statement.
The meaning of the individual impact on sports is trying to develop your own sense of play urgency or passion. No one can tell you that you can't do it, and you just have to believe in yourself and believe that you can. The Make-A-Wish Foundation is a nonprofit organization that helps make kids' wishes come true that are facing life-threatening medical conditions. Health benefits for playing sports can be a healthier heart, weight management, and then one safety tip that I can think of for playing sports is just to stay hydrated. Athletes who made the biggest impact on their sports are Deion Sanders, who was the only athlete who played in the World Series and the Super Bowl, and the only player to hit a home run and score a touchdown in the same week. And then the last player I found was Michael Jordan, who was the first global superstar before Kobe. The impact of sports in individuals' lives can be that you can get self-confidence, discipline, and playing a sport can be hard work. So you'll have to overcome that, and then just being responsible. So like if a coach tells you you need to do this, then try to accomplish that. Sports can also get people together and like have a nice little bond. And maybe if they want to watch the Super Bowl or the Stanley Cup final, the World Series, or maybe the final in the NBA. Sports can help people relieve stress or just get some exercise. Maybe it's just once a week or maybe it's a couple times. And they can just have fun with it. The other thing about athletes and their individual impact on sports is that some of them can just have a motive when they play. Some of them, yes, they can be very competitive, but others just like what they do and they want to keep doing it. And their main goal is to make it to the championship.
Economic impact in sport events can be defined as net change in an economy resulting from a sport event. It can be seen as general visitor spending, public spending, employment opportunities, and tax revenue. Hosting a sport event revealed a number of benefits in our communities. Of those benefits, some reasons in increasing the community visibility, positive physical income, and enhancing the community image. According to an article from economicmodeling.com, the sports industry contributes to a roughly $14.3 billion per year, and it also contributes to a massive 456,000 jobs and averaging 39,000 per job. Whenever any sport event occurs in the country, it gives benefits to different sectors. People spend more on tickets, purchase sports brands, products, visit restaurants and clubs, watch TV, and many more. Travel companies, beverage companies also make a huge profit at the time of the sport events. Let's take as an example the state of Arizona. According to In Business Phoenix, the impact that sports had on the state of Arizona is not limited to the $500 million brought in by the Super Bowl or the $65 million brought in by the NBA All-Star. It's also calculated with the hundreds of million dollars that Waste Management Phoenix Open pumps into the economy annually, and it generates employment in such obvious areas such as players, coaches, management, and also wider ranging areas like construction, parking, uniforms, stadiums, furniture, hoteliers, waiting staff, trainers, personal trainers, ticket takers, promotions, and it also brings money to the transportation area and the food industry.
How have sports affected your life?
Sports has affected my life in many ways. The first way I can think about is the educational way. The educational way has given me a lot of opportunities, a lot of job opportunities as well. One example of that is I've gotten an opportunity to work with the men's and women's basketball teams here and commentate their games for them. I'm the color commentator and the play-by-play commentator as well. So getting that experience of the best of both worlds has really given me a great experience in that aspect, and that's something I would like to go into the future. And another thing is that just the relationships I've formed. The relationships I've formed with my teammates, my friends, my professors, and just everyone I've met down the line.
One example of sports impact on society, according to the Sports Business Journal, is the majority owner of the Carolina Panther, Jerry Richardson's contribution to fairness and his outstanding contribution to help improve the quality of life of the people of Carolina without limitations to race, religion, or social status. So we can see that the impact that sport has on society can affect the economy, like bringing more money into society and more employment.
Individual impacts, people can see that people just try to find role models and just try to live a healthy life.
On a cultural level, you can see that people want to form relationships with as many people as possible in the most time of need. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I'm Nebiat Mamo.
I'm Edvaldo Ferreira.
I'm J.R. Marshall.
And we are Team Good Enough.